again.
Yep.
Your boy Ellie.
Shags.
Reggie.
Special guest today.
Very special, boy.
Mr. Reggie Nelson.
Wow.
RN.
Wow.
Initials.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to have you today, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah,
Thank
been pending. Especially Shags, obviously. You know his story, innit?
I know his story. I follow that story. You know, it's so funny because like I've read like bare newspaper articles. I remember you even put up something on your Instagram as well about, I think it was Daily Mail.
Yeah.
That tried to they falsified one story about it. And I was laughing at the time, it's Daily Mail, but I know the story, and that's why I've been willing to get you on this thing because fam, like your story actually is about. It's like what the podcast is about, like chasing your goals, chasing your dreams, like actually going after what you want and everything. And you actually personified that. So, bro, it was good having you, man.
I already know him, innit? So I'm just gonna.
Nah, it's good to be here. Man. Honestly, good to be here, man. Respect for the podcast as well, man. Love having you.
No, definitely 100%. You've been on the podcast before?
Been on a couple.
Okay. I'm not even asking that question for. How can I be asking that question for? My gosh.
I've been on a couple.
Yeah.
But this one's extra special.
Extra special.
Okay.
A place in our hearts. Appreciate that. So obviously, we're not gonna go through the kind of standard questions. It's unscripted. There's no scripts. I'll show you my screen, but I'm not reading anything.
So what? Just what image?
Well, I've got the timer here, obviously, innit? I've got the real or authentic. But since instead of going, actually talking about your story, which people probably read, your newspaper, they've watched BBC, on YouTube, whatever, including podcasts. How's life been, or how would you say since last year? Obviously with the exposure as well and career, that moment in time has propelled you, in the direction you're going in now. How's that been?
Yeah. So since last year, it's been a crazy year. Like when the BBC video came out last year, my LinkedIn, my Insta, my Twitter just started to blow up. And I remember because I was talking to the producer from BBC, and he always told me that the video's gonna go out end of August in 2018. So I was sort of preparing myself for the end of August. Like, that's the date I had in my head, because you don't know. I didn't see the end video, only saw the draft, so I didn't know what was actually happening in it. Yeah. So I saw the draft and I was like, cool. There was a few things that needed to be edited in there, and I left it with BBC to do it. And then I remember I got a text from my producer saying, change of plan. It's being released tomorrow. So I'm thinking, now what are you talking about? I haven't prepared myself.
You haven't prepared yourself for that.
I feel like I just had to prepare myself for when that drops. Like things could happen. Some people could look at it from a negative standpoint. They could have some negative stigmas or connotations to it, and I just had to prepare myself for that. And some people would be like, "Oh, this is great. How'd you do this?" I wanted to prepare some answers so that if people come quickly, I could just copy and paste. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to sort of pat myself. And when the text came, and it was the next day, I was like, "Bruh." So then I woke up and I was getting ready for work. 6 a.m. I received a message saying, "Just seen your BBC video. Like, this is so inspiring." And I was like, "Thank you. I haven't even seen it myself. Can you send me the link?" So then the person that I've never met before sent me a link, and I watched it for the first time. And then from there, it was just like, boom. Wow. And bro, I swear, like within 3 months, by the end of the year, I'd received like 18 job offers. Because I work in finance. From various investment banks, consultancies, tech firms, just saying, look, we need people like you, and that's humbling.
Yeah, for real.
Just imagine, like, as a student, you guys went to uni, like, you're struggling to get that graduate placement, that internship, and I'm just sitting here now with 18 offers. I'm like, overwhelming. And the thing is, I rejected all of them as well, innit? So that period was quite humbling for me. And then, doing the things with ITV and Sky News, and obviously getting a call up from the Prime Minister at the time as well. So like Theresa May got in touch with me and was like, we want you to help on this campaign that we're doing around race at work. So I met with Theresa May, did some work with the Cabinet Office, and just fast forward, and it's been a crazy journey, man. Like just getting sent stuff for free and going places, like traveling the world to talk, and it's been really humbling, man. It's been really humbling.
One thing that I'll definitely pull from the key thing that you said, you know, from all that is that it's been humbling.
Yeah.
Where, you know, the cliche saying of, if you want to know who someone is, give them power or give them money, give them basically, you know, what everyone kind of wants. But to actually see that the whole experience, you know, has actually humbled you, I think not only does it inspire people to kind of stay, if I can say, grounded in like whatever career, whatever, anything they're pursuing, but also it makes people not afraid to actually chase it. Because even though this is unscripted, this is being real, there have been times in the past where I would look at myself in the mirror and I'll think, you know, if I am successful, what are people going to think? Or am I going to get big-headed? You know, is that actually possible? Because it's always easy to say, easier said than done, easier to say than when you've actually arrived there. But when you actually say it, so I think those are already two points. You know, that person
it's like, me personally, I know that, you know, faith plays a big part in my life, and I always bring it down to my faith, and it's almost like I can never allow myself to get big-headed because I know where I've come from, and I know that this isn't all because of my strength, it's because of a combination of different things, from faith to family to people around me, and it's almost like if I become big-headed or become proud, then this can all come down, tumbling down very, very quickly. And I've always like said to myself, like, this isn't for me, do you know what I mean? Like, I know where I've come from. Like, I've come from like the dustbins, bro. Like, we've like grew up on £2 a day chicken and chips, and lunch was more than £2. So how you got that full food?
I know the life.
Like at school with trainers, and you can't buy new trainers. Do you know what I mean? Like, your mum is sacrificing, working more than one job. Like, I've been through that struggle. So for me to get somewhere and just like not even almost send the elevator down or just think, oh yeah, I got here by my own strength. For me, like, it's quite foolish for me to even think like that. So every day I just take it day by day, and I feel like the combination of different things I mentioned, from family to friends to faith, and just knowing where I've come from, it just keeps me so grounded. So man.
Wow. Deep stuff.
Yeah.
But I've got one question for you. Are you an influencer now?
That's
the guy said with his
Follow me
stuff.
on Twitter.
I said, are you an influencer now? What?
Fashion over. BB man sent the bag over.
What's that guy that went to do the free stuff?
Alex from Glasgow. Wow. Hey, shout out BB man. That's it.
Nah, I never put a title on what I do, man. Like, people, like, when I go to events and I talk, or I'm meeting this company or whatever, like, they will have a different name all the time. Like, oh, Reggie Nelson, motivational speaker. I've never called myself. They say inspirational speaker. I've never called myself. You know what I mean? They say finance analyst. That's what I am. Some people will say like the wildest things. And it's like, you guys can call me.
Have you got a book writer yet?
A book writer?
Soon. Have you got it yet? Like,
a book?
No, I'm not a book, but have you ever got, like, it's a bit far-fetched, but seen the title?
No, because it's funny, I'm writing a book, bro.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Hey. Wow. Listen, we had no convo before this, just so you know.
I thought I was mad. I thought you knew. Nah, I'm writing a book. Yeah.
Mad.
Beginning of this year, it was one of my goals actually. I like to set yearly goals, innit? And that was one of my goals to, like, at least get the draft of it done, or like take steps towards it. I mean, obviously,
you heard it here first.
Obviously, I've never like, obviously written a book, so I had to do research on how it worked, how many pages, how long it would take. I did the calculations of if I did this many pages for this many months, how many months would it take me to write and stuff, and researching all like literary agents and everything like that. And then beginning of the year, I found a literary agent. So how it works is you the person that has the idea of the book, and then at the end is the publisher. And then to get to the publisher, it's almost like you need a middleman, because the publisher's not really gonna read your work. I mean, they need like the middleman to do it.
Okay.
So that middleman has the relationship with the publisher.
Okay.
And the hardest bit is getting that middleman to buy into you, because when they buy into you, they can go to the publisher and say, oh yeah, I've got a sick book, you know my work, I've got a reputation, take me on, kind of thing. So I was again blessed that the middleman, they call it a literary agent, got one of them sort of 3 months into the year. It's one of the biggest in the UK as well, which is again a blessing. And they've decided to be the editors for it. So
that's solid, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
you got kind of a release date, or?
So it is. It's dependent on publishers really, because it's seasonal, right? So the publishers might say, okay, this book we see it really doing well Christmas sales, for sort of New Year's resolution
Mm.
vibe, or it might do really well in September when people go back to school and uni because they really want to sort of hit the ground running. So it depends on the publishers, man. So at the moment, it's just about writing, getting the drafts done. The title's been done. Well, I think it's been done. I hope it don't change it because I really like the title. But yeah, we're taking steps towards it, man.
That's big stuff. That's big stuff.
Yeah, I'm not big.
Yeah, do you want to say something?
No.
No, I thought there was just a question on the tip of the tongue. No, but that's so solid, man. Like, it's, I guess, even like how even Shaken said, you know, even with the title of the podcast, whatever, if a 15-year-old or 16-year-old Reggie that left school, you know, was told that he was going to be doing all of this, you know, like your life was not written as a script. It was literally unscripted.
I mean, you can steal the title.
But unscripted at the back. No, it is like life would have been so different. Like I grew up in East London, not in the best of areas by any means, and I, growing up, was around, you know, just a group of friends, and you know, when you're around a group of friends, you sort of, it's quite hard to decipher what's good and what's bad. Do you know what I mean? And to what extent what good is and what extent bad is. So like, just to paint a picture, like a lot of the friends that I grew up with, you know, more than like a handful of them are, you know, dead by now. 2 handful have gone to prison at least once. These are the friends that I grew up with. Do you know what I mean? And it wasn't like they were bad people, but I just feel like growing up was just so challenging, and it's so hard to navigate when you don't have that sort of visibility as to what's available to you. So I was playing football at the time, and I just said to myself, you know, I want to focus on football. I wasn't really the most academic person at the time, so I said, you know, just focus on football, get away from like what's happening in the area, and just try to sort of focus my mindset on that. So if someone told me at 16 that I'll be doing this, sitting with you guys, telling you, you know, this story, and you guys wanted to have an insight into me and my journey, it was very far-fetched, because like I said, this was not planned, this was unscripted. I was not going to go uni, I was not going to study, I wasn't, you know, it's just, everything was just so unscripted. That's why I just feel like, again, coming back to the whole being grounded thing, because I haven't planned any of this, it's almost like my path is being, you know, pathed up for me, and I just have to remain focused on that, because if I start to be like, oh yeah, you know, blah blah blah, it can go left, and I know that. Do you know what I mean? So again, I think that's another thing that keeps me grounded as well, just knowing that I'm not where I want to be yet, and this journey is not just for me.
100%. And even go back to something you said there of how if you had known the end on the journey, probably things would have been different. But because you didn't, in some way, it's built some kind of character, and I think even linked to faith in that way, 100%. You know, to keep you grounded, because you had no idea. You literally had no idea of where things were going or where life was taking you. You know, in that kind of way. That's it, man. And to be honest with you, it's one of those ones where, you know, I like to plan my years and whatever. But now it's got to the point where like I don't even plan anymore, you know. Like I used to have a long-term plan, or try to make a long-term plan of 5 years, 10 years. And this isn't, I'm not saying this is right or wrong, I'm just saying this is what I've learned works for me. I'll scrap that. I just do year by year. Last year, that like it was different. This year, different. Next year, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it's crazy. Like next week, I was telling you guys, like next week I'm flying out to Barcelona. That came out on a whim. It was just like, can you do it? Okay, yeah. I didn't plan to go to Barcelona this year, do you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, you're going there next year, and then I've got a talk for this company. I didn't plan that, and that's going to lead on to something else. It's just like a rolling ball. So me, it's just, I'm a day-by-day guy. I'm just a day-by-day guy. Obviously, I have a goal that I want to achieve, like a tangible goal, but I don't really like to plan how to get there. I just know that, okay, this is what I want, I'm going to go towards it. Yeah, and it's funny as well you should say that, because I was at an event that you missed last Sunday.
Let's not even talk about that.
You're gonna apologize if they're watching. You can apologize.
I'm not gonna say the name. They might blacklist me or something, man. Let me just, if you know, you know. I apologize, man. No,
but I was gonna say there was someone on the panel at this networking event. Shout out to Chit London.
Wow.
There was a woman called Vashti. She's a middle-aged woman, actually quite young still. I think 36. Sorry, this goes.
Nah, it's big in a hole.
Sorry.
Can you imagine?
No,
Like,
it's gonna tie in. No, it's gonna
like
tie.
30 or something.
It's gonna tie into what I'm saying. So basically, actually, she was the head of the year. She was working with school kids for like a good 13 years, and then late into her career, she thought, you know what, I want to do something else creatively. You know, I want to go into producing. And then she started to do, you know, different jobs, kind of working towards that. She mentioned on Sunday how she was a producing assistant for Shara Story, where she was literally just kind of on the streets, basically getting people away from the set. And now, as a coloured Asian woman, you know, at the age of that she is, you know, just recently we got a preview of her producing a music video for Rapman with the likes of Dave, Michael Dapper, Michael Ward, and that's an extreme change. You go from head of year in a school to producing a high quality video, you know, on national level. And it just shows that obviously, you know, you should have plans and goals in life, but that's what life is. You have to adapt and change.
Like, I always, it's funny you say that, because I've even got a story similar to that for someone else, but it's so true. It's almost like whatever you want to do, and I said this on my interview with Sky News as well, it's like you can actually do anything you want to do. Like, if you sort of strip away all of the sort of virtual, social, domestic barriers that face you, you can actually do whatever you want to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's people that are in a career path for X amount of years and they think, because I've been here for 10 years, I'm sort of destined for this career, like this is all I can do. But no, you can change it. Like, I remember there was a lady, again, she was a lecturer for a university. She taught economics, and she reached out to me and said, "Oh, Reggie, you know, I teach economics, but I really want to go into asset management and into finance." And I said, "Okay, cool. Like, let's meet for a coffee," kind of thing. Again, she's a lot older than I am. I'm not gonna say what age she is, because if she does watch this, and I say that she's middle aged, it could come back to bite me. But she's, you know, a lot older than I am. Met for a coffee, and then she just expressed the challenges. Like, she doesn't have any finance experience, and she doesn't know how to break into the sector, and people are just gonna look at her as a teacher because that's all she's done for her life. And the long story short, like, I gave her like the advice that I could possibly give. I taught her about like networking and finding what to do, and just gave her the advice that I could, you know, potentially help her. Long story short, she's working in the sector today. Do you know what I mean? She started last month.
That's real.
So
man.
it just, again, strip away all of that. You can actually do whatever you want to do, and that lady's testimony.
We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Like, what's your excuse?
What's your excuse?
Yeah, come on, man.
I mean, like you said, if you strip away all the distractions, the social media, like keeping up appearances and all that kind of stuff, and you actually focus on your goal, like, I feel like you'll get some kind of reward of success in it.
And also thinking about it, if you really like pay attention to the detour of like most of our journeys, or the journeys of us young people growing in this country, if you see from like even school, you might have an idea of what you want to do in terms of subject, but you can go to college and study something different. Or in college you might do business, but then after, with the right grades in uni, you could go do chemistry. You know, and even like working in the finance sector for like a good year and a half, I saw how people drastically moved from department to department. So on a micro level, you can actually see that it's really possible. So I guess obviously it'll require more effort on a macro level, like a greater level, but it's already happening. If that makes sense. It's not a secret.
No, it's possible. It's possible. It is more than possible. I remember there was when I was interning, when I was in uni, there was this random fact that someone said to us interns. It was like, someone that was very, very senior at Goldman Sachs, which is a large investment bank. I don't know what level they held, but it was like executive level. Studied art at university.
Wow.
And it's like, art. Like, no disrespect. But
No,
like,
100%.
correlation between art and you know, investment banking.
Yeah.
Where is that correlation? Do you know what I mean? And it will be interesting to actually see that. I don't know the person's name. I'll try to find it after, but it will be interesting to see that person's mindset to say, I'm an art graduate, but I want to go into investment bank and become an executive.
Wow.
Like you guys said, there's no excuse, man. No excuse, honestly.
Wow, I'm actually thinking arts.
That's big. I need to read that.
Do you remember Mr. Butcher?
Yeah.
So imagine him, like, just playing,
Becoming
switching up.
an investment bank.
Margaret Thatcher, she had a chemistry degree. She became
Really?
Yeah. I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Really?
I mean, Yeah.
Wow. But I think even like when there are those drastic changes, just like going by all things kind of working together, you see, even if something isn't directly relevant to what you want to do, what you go into, some of it kind of plays a part or helps you, you know.
It's a lot of transferable.
Yeah, exactly. Transferable skills, exactly.
Yeah.
Perfectly put there, you know, in different ways.
Yeah, no, 100. I mean, especially like, I can only talk for finance, innit? But especially within finance, there's so many different transferable things that can come into play. Like, if you do study chemistry, there's a lot of sort of quants in chemistry, a lot of quants in physics. If you study sport, you'd be surprised how many people come from a sport in education background.
So true,
finance, because you know, you have collaborative skills, you have teamwork, you have communication.
Exactly.
You know, these are all transferable
Target
things.
goals, yeah.
Exactly, especially salespeople. A lot of salespeople come from a sporting background because of that sort of aggressive, competitive nature. So transferable into like a salesy relationship environment. So I guess, yeah, man, like if there is anyone watching that does want to sort of divert from one place to another, it doesn't have to be like finance or whatever, but just in general in life, you might be at one point in life and trying to get to another point in life. I think you put it well, like there's no excuse. Like, what is your excuse? And I say that quite loosely because there are different things that do come up. It might be like financial barriers, or like you might not have the network to do it, or there might be things that are impeding you from doing it. But if you, like, again, strip away all of that, there's so many people that have done it. If they can do it, why can't you do it? Although it sounds cliche, it's true. Like, if you can do it, why can't you do it? And I try to tell myself that as well when I sort of face some barriers, like, right, if next man can do it, why can't I do it?
Or that kind of cliche, or stay in your lane.
Nah,
I think that's the worst.
I'm not stay in my lane, man. Put my indicators on and go to the lane. Stay in my lane. Come on, man.
Oh man.
But I think one of the, not one, but the main reason why a lot of people don't, you know, even before even executing that kind of vision or plan of diversifying or going to something else that they probably actually want to do, is the judgment of others.
I just think it's just people feel comfortable. They feel comfortable in the position they're in. They're not really. They don't want to experiment or, you know, go against what they know, kind of thing.
So it is. I feel like a lot of people. I think it's a combination of those two, actually, because there are a lot of people that love their comfort zone. That's why it's called a comfort zone. People love being comfortable, and people are sometimes afraid of going into something else, because us as humans, like, we have fears. Do you know what I mean? Like, we go into an environment, if we're not accustomed to that environment, we're naturally going to be quite reserved, naturally going to be quite held back. We're not going to fulfill our full potential. So I get that, but I think you said something as well, like people will sort of judge you in some way, shape or form, because it's almost like, right, like, who do you think you are, kind of thing. Especially if
I'm sure you faced that.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And they don't come to your face, do they?
One person did. One person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. They're both people. It's live. Both people.
Not to my face, but like, yeah, I just feel like.
Or was it kind of like, it wasn't direct,
No,
but
it
they
wasn't.
tried to hide it in a kind of way?
Okay,
they
so what
approach?
happened was, like, let me create a picture. So imagine when we're growing up, it's almost like you have visibility to three things, which is either football, music. That don't work, you go crime. That's the honest truth. A lot of people where I grew up, young people, everyone tries to be a baller at first. It doesn't really work out. Then you try music because you see it quite easy, and then if that don't work, then boy, like, where's the food? Let me go sell a few, because everyone, like, you're broke, you need money. Do you know what I mean? I'm not advocating it, but I'm just saying this is the reality. So when you see someone that sort of breaks away from those three prominent avenues, it's almost like, rah, well done, or rah, who do you think he is, kind of thing. And I got more of the, like, congratulations side of things, because I'm not saying I'm the only one that, you know, broke out of that, but it's quite rare for people to sort of go down the route that I've gone down. Again, it's really, really humbling. But there was one person in particular that was like, you know, I'm here now in this position. What am I doing to help, like, people, innit? And it was a fair question, and I explained to him. It was via social media. And I explained to him, like, oh, this is what I'm trying to do. These are the things that I'm doing. I've got this mentoring program. I've established this mentoring program. I'm doing this with the cabinet office to do this. And I just explained to him, like, the different avenues that I'm doing in order to sort of send my people back up. And I remember they said something like, oh, but why haven't you got people like us a job? Like, I think that the person worded it like, rah, like,
so I know
we're here, just bring us in. And I tried to explain to him, like, it's not like that. It's not like, oh, I'm here, let me open the door, man, come. No, there's so many so many levels in place where you have to sort of crack down, and I'm personally trying to take shortcuts to bring this or supply this knowledge to this person, but it's not as easy as that. And I explained that, and I told him like, right, I can help in ABC, and I gave examples of people that I've helped that have come up. Do you know what I mean? I've given, and I remember I brought this guy to my office, one of my good friends, and he was struggling to get into like his career path, and he always said, oh yeah, I've got an interview, but I never got the role, and I'm struggling. But I said, cool, come, because part of the thing that I do is I just try to help people like succeed in like interviews and blah blah blah. So I said, come. Sat down and I recorded him for 20 minutes, practicing interviews, and I was saying, bro, can you see why you're not getting like the roles? Like, this is your mistake. And once we ironed it out, I think a couple weeks later, he got a role at one of the top 4 accountancy firms.
Really?
You know what I mean? And that I gave that example to this person that messaged me like, right, I can help you and I will help you. Do you know what I mean? But it's not like, nepotism is not the way forward.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's not just about give handouts, because that's not the real world. Unfortunately, I wish it was, but it's not.
And you're actually robbing yourself.
100%, because once I'll get onto that in a second as well, but and then that person like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah. It's like the person going on a little rant about how like I'm not helping people. I'm not da 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 da. I said, cool, like you do. I appreciate you do you. I'll do me kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? But again, touching on the point that you just said as well, it's almost like anything that's given easily to you, you don't appreciate it. You don't appreciate it. Like ask a student that had to graph for first class. That student will appreciate that first class. Or ask a student that got 100 rejections for a job and then got that one job, bro. They're gonna be one of the hardest working people at that job because they knew how hard it was to get there. Do you know what I mean? If you look at musician, like look at Rapman. Look at Rapman's intensity. Now that he's
been for a decade,
bro. He's been the longest in the game. Look at his intensity, bro. This guy doesn't stop working. He's in the States with Jay-Z, and then he's doing a project in the UK, and then he's up and down. Like he knows that, look, I've got it now. Do you know what I mean? I can't let it go. And things that come easy to people, like I'm not gonna say names, so I don't know how easy people had to, or how hard people had to work to attain to certain things, but I'll just use this as an example. I don't know the kid, but like Alex from Glastonbury, for example. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
This is unscripted.
I don't know the guy. But like, for example, that came overnight.
Yeah.
I mean, him appreciating that, he will not appreciate that as much as someone like Rapman or someone like Dave that had to work as hard as he had to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, if Alex from Glastonbury like lost everything tomorrow, he'll care, but I doubt he'll care. Do you know what I mean? Like, he'll go back to doing what
climb to the top was like an elevator, to be honest.
Quick. Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like sometimes you need to graft. Sometimes you need to have those knockbacks. And I always say, like, your hardest...
I think you need to all the time.
You do. No, I wouldn't say all the time because it gets jarring. Do you know what I mean? Like, having to struggle all the time, bro. I'm tired, man. I'm tired. Do you know what I mean?
But it's good. It's like the medicine you need. Okay, maybe not all the time,
it
but...
builds character.
It does. It builds a lot of things. And I always say, like, your hardest moments create the best stories. Because if you don't have that hard moment, bro, you don't have a story. I mean, the reason why I'm sitting in front of you guys today, I'm blessed to be sitting in front of you guys today, is because I had something that happened before that has almost shed a light to what's happening now. If I didn't have that struggle, if I didn't go through what I went through, then I guess I wouldn't really be sitting in front of you guys today. Do you know what I mean? If there was a golden spoon in my mouth and everything was quite linear, there will be no story. So I just feel like sometimes the hardest moments do create the best stories, man.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And for those who, even it's funny because I guess you always have those people, even if you're not at a high level. Because I even remember when I was doing a scholarship football program for Barnet FC, there were guys around me that was like, oh, bring me in. Like, I'm the manager and I can just bring you down to the training ground and training field. But it doesn't work like that. I mean, and as we established, you kind of rob from yourself of the experiences you can actually have. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the term, and those watching, being broke made me rich.
Yeah. I think Dave has a bar in one of his songs. He goes, I thank God more that I grew up with less, or something like that. And it's always
is that from Location?
Yeah. Thank God.
I never really did that. Did you? Okay, I think I'll have to do my homework after.
Yeah. No, I might be. Let me paraphrase. Like I said, thank God more I grew up with less, because it's almost like when you grow up with less, you appreciate it more. Like that hunger, that tenacity, that vigor is built into you. Do you know what I mean? it's different, and you can see it. You
Mm.
can see when someone's
Yeah,
had to
definitely
struggle
see,
when
yeah,
they're
yeah.
at the top. You can see it.
The
And
passion is there.
it's
you can
different.
see
It's
Yeah.
different. Like
It's in their DNA. It's like
it. Like even when you look at these football players and
Oh.
like Ronaldo and all these guys, when
Yeah.
they're talking, you can
you
see
can
like.
see it.
Wait,
Have you watched the Ronaldo
man,
documentary?
I watched it. That's when I was like, yes,
That
this
documentary
guy.
gave me a lot more respect for Ronaldo.
Yeah.
I'm a Messi guy. John.
Yeah.
I've been a Messi guy.
Same.
But I'm not gonna lie, after that documentary, I was on the fence.
When did it come out?
I saw Netflix.
Yes, yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah,
put on my watch list. Yeah.
We get an insight into Ronaldo's journey,
Yeah.
from like playing, at academy level, blah blah. And he was from humble beginnings. He wasn't born.
Yeah,
rich.
it's a Madeira.
He just-
Yeah.
He had that. He just had the talent, and bro, his work ethic, like the way he believes in himself, the way
Yeah.
he conditions himself, the way that he looks after himself, just so that he can keep playing. You can tell that, rah, I'm not letting go of this. That mentality of I'm holding on to it. The guy's mentality is stupidly disciplined, and he is ripped.
Yeah.
Ah,
Mad.
bro, I think there was his Champions League header where he jumped. I don't know how many meters he jumps. Yeah, and then there was some stupid.
I think
It's
I know
against Man
it's
United,
like 3
wasn't it?
meters. It was the goal
Yeah.
bar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bro, that spun my head, and it was like,
That's NBA level, you know.
bro,
It's mad.
that
It's
is
crazy. That's
It's
crazy.
Like he's work ethic. After that documentary, I just said to myself, you know what? Hats off to you, Ronaldo. Like I have a lot more respect for you. A lot more respect for you. So
You want to watch it?
I think I'm still a Messi guy,
Yeah.
but yeah, Ronaldo, like a lot more respect for him now, man. After that documentary.
Yeah.